Not the boy who wanted to be a ballet dancer, no, Bill Elliott was the 1988 NASCAR Winston Cup champion, and one of the most popular racers that sport has ever seen. This Game Boy game is essentially a port of Bill Elliott's NASCAR Challenge that was released for the NES and PC. It's an ambitious racing game in that the view aspect is first person. You're behind the wheel of your car with the track rendered in a 3D way. This was pretty tough on the old console, but it tried its best. The race field of view takes up approximately half the screen, so the 3D isn't being rendered everywhere, but even so, the frame rate is very low. I'm talking probably 5 or 6 FPS here, and boy is it noticeable. To attempt to counteract this, the developers split the screen into 2 halves horizontally, moving each half to the next drawing on alternate frames. To a certain extent this helps, but the flow feels very sluggish nonetheless. This is no good in a genre where reflexes are paramount. It takes an age for your inputs to be received at times and leads you to frequently overcompensate your driving. You'll be skidding all over the place. There are 4 circuits in the game. Daytona is a fast anti-clockwise speedway. Atlanta is your standard NASCAR oval. Watkins Glen is a road course. And Sears Point is a very tight, winding track. You can choose a single race or a championship season, which is 8 races long, 2 on each circuit. In the championship mode, you can choose to qualify for the race first, and I suggest that you do, else you're starting near the back. There is also a practice mode, which is quite interesting for the time. It's not dissimilar to what games like Gran Turismo do these days, whereby there are several skill areas such as drafting, passing, following a line and so on. And the idea is that Awesome Bill from Dawsonville is trying to teach you certain skills and you need to pass them. A fair bit of thought went into the tuning of your car and the other settings. Try if you can to use the manual transmission setting, as it boosts your car's top speed by around 3 miles per hour, but obviously it makes the game harder. It's all too easy to blow an engine because you forgot to shift up a gear, and not shifting at the right time really kills your acceleration. You can choose a race or qualifying engine setup. The qualifying one is faster, but won't hold out for an entire race, so just save it for those time trial sessions. You can adjust the angle of your spoiler, which manipulates the ratio between handling and top speed. You benefit on the windier courses by increasing the angle so as to make turning easier. You can also set your gear ratio, which is a little more complicated. A lower ratio boosts your top speed but ruins your acceleration. A higher one vice versa. Lower ratio is better for tracks with fewer corners. There's even something called stagger. This is to do with the ratio between the sizes of the inside and outside tyres. I'm not overly sure what this alters, but a lower stagger seems to make your car more stable on straight sections, but not as competent in cornering. The surprise is not that all of these tuning aspects are in a Game Boy game, so much as they actually do something. They're not superficial choices, they really do alter your performance in ways that you'll feel, so it's something you'll need to figure out. In race, you have a rather complex dashboard at the bottom of the screen surrounding your steering wheel. These numbers and lights indicate things like position, fuel, speed, damage sustained, RPM counter, lots of different things that are little more than a distraction. Keep your eyes on the track. Mainly the only thing you need to take note of is the fuel and damage gauge, which start flashing if you need to pit. These beep anyway, so you don't even need to look down at the bottom of the screen. The engine noise is great and has a gradient that really gives a good impression of speed and serves as an indicator of when you need to shift. It is spoiled somewhat by the skid mark and contact noises, which use basically the same tone and can be really confusing. There's no visual indicator when you hit an opponent's car. The only telegraph you have is this slightly different pitched bleep that doesn't sound anything like a collision. The skidding noise is supposed to inform you that you're oversteering or losing control, as the visuals don't really help with that. But sadly, it's too hard to distinguish this noise from the roar of the engine. This is an ambitious game for the system, that's for definite. Unfortunately, it doesn't work all that well. The graphics push the Game Boy too much, meaning Bill Elliott's NASCAR Fast Tracks is possibly the choppiest, most sluggish game on the whole system. I'm not exaggerating when I say that it's like a freeze frame animation, it basically is. The idea is interesting, the devotion to the idea admirable, but I can't help but feel like a toned down visual style would have made this game a lot more playable. Whether we'd still remember it exists is a matter for debate, of course. Distinctive Software were living up to their moniker by trying to make a game that at least stood out from the crowd. Thanks so much for watching this video. The Kickstarter for the book is now live. Check the link in the description for how you can back the project and be the first to get your hands on the Portable Power Encyclopedia, featuring more than 900 Game Boy game reviews and a whole wealth of useful information on the world's favorite handheld console. See you later on.